안녕하세요, 여러분. Welcome to KSTYLEyo for another live streaming. Today is the first live in 2021. Hopefully, you guys are having a great year so far. I think it's been pretty good. I have no issues. Hopefully, it's better than any other year, especially last year. Let me know if you can hear me well, and if you can leave where you're from and your name in the live chat, that'll be great too. Welcome to KSTYLEyo. So today it's gonna be another live streaming going through an article. This article is very interesting, and also it's a little difficult because even for myself it was a bit challenging. But at the same time, this topic is critical and also important issues to discuss. And I don't find that a lot of people in the world are aware of this. This is the issue of lowest birth rate in South Korea. It is the lowest historically, and I believe that it may be the lowest birth rate country in the world. We're gonna get through some statistics between Japanese birth rate in 2020 I think, or 19, and compared to South Korean birth rate as well. This is a pretty critical issue, so it's good to talk about it and kind of have the idea of what's going on in South Korean society and then the future. Can you guys hear me well? Alright, so as you know, article is an amazing way to learn Korean because it's gonna give you the sentence structure properly. Nothing like K-pop or dramas, things that you actually learn. Speaking format is a little different from the written format. Speaking format is most natural. Written format, it may not be natural when you speak Korean. But this is a good way to learn new vocabulary and also the sentence structure. So I'm gonna ask you some questions throughout the live streaming. What the verb, subject, object, which I always do with you guys. So leave the answers in the comment down below in the live chat. If you have any questions, just stop me anytime because we're all here to learn together. Okay, hello. 새해 복 많이 받으세요, everyone. Okay, so let's start with the first sentence. I have picked 4 sentences. Okay, the first one, you can find the link in the description box to get to this article as well if you want to study on your own time. But this is a bit challenging, even for me. Do you guys see this sentence? This is the first one. 지난해 출생자는 27만 5,815명으로 사상 처음 30만 명 선을 밑돌았다. This is a good one because you get to practice your Korean number system. But when I say Korean number, it could be Korean or Chinese number system. We have 2 systems, right? You may be wondering, what? You guys have 2? Yes. Normally, when you use counting unit like 명, you're gonna use Korean number system. But this is really large number. So I chose to use Chinese number system. So if I read again here, 지난해 출생자는 27만 5,815명으로 사상 처음 30만 명 선을 밑돌았다. 다시요. 지난해 출생자는 27만 5,815명으로 사상 처음 30만 명 선을 밑돌았다. 그러면 for those who are in the live for the first time, subject is orange, object pink, verb blue, and miscellaneous turquoise, we're gonna underline each word and go through the sentences. 그러면 동사가 뭡니까? 동사 is verb. So what is the verb in this sentence? Main verb. 지난해 출생자는 this 사상 처음 30만 명 선을 밑돌았다. 쉬워요. 왜냐면 동사, 주요 동사는 어디 있죠? 항상 at the end of the sentence. Okay? At the end of the sentence. 밑돌았다. 밑돌았다. So, verb here is dictionary form 밑돌다. 밑 has meaning of below. Okay? 돌다, what? Spin. Spinning below. What's the mean? 밑돌다. Spinning below. Hello, Farah. So this one, if you look it up in dictionary, you're gonna come up as fall short. Fall short. Okay? So what falls short? What falls short? 그럼 주어가 뭡니까? 주어. 주어 is subject. We're gonna look into subject particle. I see one here. And then any other particles? No. So most likely this may be the subject noun here. 출생자. 출생자가 뭐예요? Try to look up words in dictionary because that's a great practice for you guys too. 출, 생자, 출생. This is birth. So birth, person. 자 has a meaning of person. So people who are born. Okay? People who are born. 출생자. Falls short. What? Falls short. 30만 명 선을. You see object particle. 30만 명. What is 30만? This is a pop quiz. How would you say 30만 in English? What is 만, by the way? This really gets confusing, even for me, because our standard way to write the number is a little different from English. Especially when we convert the digits into Korean. I don't know if it's only Korean in the world, but normally people use 3 digits as the standard number of digits, right? Base format. In Korean, we also do write comma here after 3 digits, but when we convert it into Korean like this, base becomes 10,000. Okay? So 만 is actually 10,000. So 30만 is what? 300,000. 300,000. 30만. Okay? So it's a bit tricky. So, how about this one? 27만 5,815명. So, 27만, we can follow the same format like this, right? 27만 is 370,000 because 10,000 is 만. And 5815, it goes right after. It's plus, right? So if I write 5815, so 275, 815. That's the English version. I write it cleanly. Yeah. So 275, 815. English way. Okay? So let's start with the first word here. 지난해. Past year. 지난 means past. Past year. 해 has the meaning of year as well. It's equivalent 작년. Okay? Last year. Past year, last year. But normally past year means referring to the last year. Before this year. Okay? 출생자는 people are born. I guess they mean like implying the number of people who are born. Fall short, below this amount of number. Okay? So people who are born, the number is what? This. 275, 815. 명 is counting unit for people. 으로 as. 안녕하세요, 뿌야. 뿌야 씨. 으로 is as. 사상 in the history. In the history. 사상. 처음. This is the first time. So you can say first time in the history. Korean in the history for the first time, right? It's backwards. So 300,000 people line. This is a line. Okay, 선 is a line. So what they're saying is a fall short below the line of 300,000 people because this number is below 300,000 people. Yeah. So meaning that it was never like that before. They're saying this is the first time in the history. It was always above 300,000. But now, last year, for the first time in the history, people who are born as 375, 815 people fall short below the line of 300,000 people. 이해하세요? 이해해요? So meaning it's the lowest ever in the history. That's what they're saying. So I was thinking, so does that mean that this is the lowest in South Korea or actually the lowest in the world? Because I have heard this before. The South Korean birth rate is even lower than Japanese birth rate. So I looked into it. So if you can see, birth rate in Korea 2020, that's what I typed. Okay, so this is 2020. 7.169 births per 1,000 people. This is in South Korea. Last year. But they always use interesting rate. You know, I guess 7.16 births is a bit interesting, but I guess that's the how they analyze the number, I guess. How about Japan? $7.301. That's in Japan. So you see, 7.3 in Japan. Korea go back 7.1. So almost, if we round up, 7.2. It's close, but it's slightly lower, and it's declining. 1.83% compared to the previous year. In Japan, let's go back, 1.3. So this is actually positive for Japanese because their rate is actually less significant compared to South Korea. So who knows, maybe next year, as in this year, 2021, if our rate of decline is bigger, even bigger than Japanese, then definitely the gap will be even bigger. So this is a very significant issue. Why? It really impacts every aspect of the society and how we live and how we form families, everything. It affects everything. And finance, economy, everything. So the next sentence. 이 50대 이상 okay, it's here. This is a little difficult, but let's go through one by one. Like I said, let me know if you have any questions. Okay. 50대 이상 장노년 인구 비중은 40.7%로 청소년 유아 비중 16.9%의 2배를 훨씬 웃돈다. 안녕하세요, 아이차. Welcome. 다시 읽을게요. 50대 이상 장노년 인구 비중은 40.7%로 청소년 유아 비중 16.9%의 2배를 훨씬 웃돈다. Okay. maybe 더 천천히 읽어볼게요. 50대 이상 장노년 인구 비중은 40.7%로 청소년 유아 비중 16.9%의 2배를 훨씬 웃돈다. 그럼 여기 동사가 뭡니까? 주요 동사. 주요 동사는 항상 마지막에 있죠? 웃돈다. This is a dictionary form 웃돌다. Previously we talked about 밑돌다, fall short. This is the opposite. 웃돌다 means exceed. Spins above. This is spins below, fall short. This is the opposite. Spins above, exceeds. Has the meaning of exceeds. So what exceeds? 주어를 찾아보세요. What exceeds? So 주어 은는 이가 subject particles. I see one here. 은. Do you see anywhere else? It's not this one because particles goes after noun, right? There is nothing here. There's a space here. 은. Most likely this is the subject noun. Okay? I may even include this. Who knows? So what is this one? 50대 이상. 50대가 뭐죠? 50대. 50, 50, what? 대. In English, you're gonna say 50s. So somebody who's 50, between 50 to 59, right? 50s. 저는 30대. 30대입니다. 50대 이상, above. Above 50s. So anyone who's above 50, I guess. I don't think they mean above 50s as in someone who's in 60s above. I'm not sure. I think this is anyone who's above 50. 장노년 인구 비중은 so 장노년. Sometimes you see this dot in the middle. It's like comma, but it's interesting in this context. In Korean, you can use dot in the middle to avoid repeating word. So 장년. This is one word. Also 노년. This is one word. So they didn't want to say 장년, 노년. They did 장 dot 노년. Just shortening. 그래요. But if I looked up this word 작년 here. This is interesting. 작년. People between 30 to 40. 30 and 40. So I don't know why they include these people. So I think I'm just gonna ignore these people here just because they already specified it's people above 50. But 노년 for sure. If you look up this word 노년, in dictionary it comes up as elderly. The old age people, elderly. That's what they say. So, I mean, these days, people who are in 50s, they're still young, right? But it's weird to say elderly when the official age of being elderly, I don't know about in South Korea, to be honest, but where I live in Canada, it's 65. 인구 population 비중, weight in the ratio, in ratio, okay? Ratio. 비중. Okay? 비율 is ratio. 중, 비중 is like weight in the ratio. 40%, 40.7% as. Okay, again as. 40.7%. So exceeds what? This. Object particle. Right? 청소년이 뭐죠? You see dot here again? 청소년, this is working as more like comma. 청소년 is a teenager. 유아, toddler, like a baby. 비중, also weight in the ratio, which is 16.9%. 의, this is possessive, 2배. 두 is from Korean number system, 둘. But when you use with 배, which is times, you're gonna remove R. Okay, 2배, 2 times. In English, you say twice, right? 훨씬, far. This is not about distance far. It's a comparison. Much more. Far more than twice the number. I know this is a bit confusing. Even when I translated, it was confusing. I asked my husband, does it make sense in English? He said he has no idea what I was saying when I directly translated. So let me know if you get what I mean. So elderly population, I'm just gonna say ratio, above 50s, right? Elderly population above 50s ratio as 40.7%. So that ratio exceeds much more, far more than twice of teenager toddler ratio, 16.9%. So when I use the Google translation, it says this way: the proportion of the elderly people in their 50s or older is 40.7%, far more than twice that of adolescents and infants, which is 16.9%. 이해하세요? Does it make sense to you guys? So meaning 16.9, if you double it up, right? Is it this? 8, 3, I think it's 3, right? 8, 3, yeah, this. If you double, I did plus instead of multiply. 33.8 is still lower than this. So that's why they're saying 5 more than twice. So what's that mean? I guess the way experts compare the population, healthy population ratio is comparing people who are in the elderly age and who are younger. So people who are in the middle 20s, 30s, 40s, maybe they're active population. They contribute to the society. So maybe they just being opted out of this calculation. They just want to make sure whoever is in the elderly population should have equal amount or more, I'm just guessing, of the people who are just born and coming up to the future, so that it's more balanced. But now it's not. Right now, the people who are teenagers and toddlers is less than half of people who are in the elderly age. So meaning, what's happening? I don't think we really foresaw this. Maybe we foresaw this comparing to Japan, but maybe we didn't think how fast it was gonna come up as issue to South Korean culture. But now, people who are in elderly age don't have a lot of government funds, government support, and they rely on their children. That is the Korean culture. So people who are in other culture, maybe it's the same thing. But so far I've seen in the Western world, when you have kids, okay, I'm gonna help you as much as I can, but you hit 20s, 18, or whoever, whatever the age that you're capable of making money, you go out. Be independent type thing, right? And not necessarily parents are looking for some support from their children financially, but in South Korea, they do currently. So because they don't have a lot of funds, support from government, and also they spend their whole life raising their kids, and they put a lot of money in their kids' education, so that one day, when I'm hitting the elderly age, hopefully I get some help from their children, right? But it's more significant issue now because of population. But I'm also thinking, why people don't want to have kids anymore in South Korea? I think because of a lot of pressure that's going on the children and also people who are in the working age, because they also want to succeed because of the, more of the superficial society. They want to have success. Success doesn't mean it's a bad thing, Being more successful, the better. You can also help out others, right? But I feel like a lot of people, even my friends who are in South Korea, they don't have kids, or they don't want to have kids because they're already feeling like they're burdened financially. If they have addition in their family, they're not going to have enough money for themselves, and also supporting the family members, right, in their parents. So they feel like, there is not enough money, so I'm just going to give up on having children. And at the same time, some of my friends in South Korea, they do want to have kids, but some, they can't. I guess it happens to a lot of people in the world, but so far I've seen from my South Korean friends, the reason they can't have babies because of the pressure from the society. Maybe they focus on their career so much and they miss the opportunity timing wise, or there's so much of stress, so they cannot relax. So maybe that's why they cannot have babies anymore. So anyway, a lot of issues and reasons why the birth rate is going down in South Korea. So, okay, so next sentence. It's here. Right here. 인구 절벽, 경제 절벽이라는 말처럼 인구 감소에 미숙하게 대응한다면 자칫 사회경제 전반에 치명적 후폭풍이 불가피하다. Yeah, kids are expensive, Francis. Yeah, that's it. It's not cheap. So, I think in Japan, I want to look into more of the Japanese support. Maybe they're also promoting people to have kids by giving them some support, financial support. Even in China, I think they used to have the one child policy and then they changed that people can have more than one child because they realized that having low birth rate is actually not good for the country. So 인구 절벽, 경제 절벽이라는 말처럼 인구 감소에 미숙하게 대응한다면 자칫 사회 경제 전반에 치명적 후폭풍이 불가피하다. 다시 천천히 읽을게요. 인구 절벽, 경제 절벽이라는 말처럼 인구 감소에 미숙하게 대응한다면 자칫 사회 경제 전반에 치명적 후폭풍이 불가피하다. 그러면 동사가 뭡니까 여기? 동사는 항상 마지막에 있다 그랬죠? 불가피하다. I guess that's the dictionary form. 불가피하다. If you look it up, it comes up as to be inevitable. So something is inevitable. But you may find a conjunction, which means you may also find another verb in this sentence. Do you guys see any conjunction here? If you look at this phrase, do you see any conjunction? Verb conjunction. When I say verb conjunction, this is connecting clause to clause. Okay? One sentence, but clause, one connecting. Okay? Clause 2. If it's more than one conjunction, then you're gonna have more clauses too. This is in one sentence. I see one here. 면. 엔다면. Hypothetical if. Okay? So 대응하다. This is another verb. Respond. Respond. It's not about 대답하다. 대답하다 is also respond. 대응하다. This is more like responding to situation. Okay? Not necessarily to people. 대답하다 is I answer to you. 대응하다 is respond to situation. Okay. So let's look into then subject. Subject. What subject do you see? Let's see. 웃는 이가. This is not particle because it's in the middle of the word. Oh, I see one here. 치명적 후폭풍이. 치명적. This is fatal. 후폭풍. 후 means after. 폭풍이 뭐죠? This is storm. Can you guys guess what that means? After storm. 후폭풍. You may think of it as aftermath. Aftermath. Fatal aftermath. So fatal aftermath is inevitable. That sounds pretty good. It works. How about this one? In this clause, do we see any subject? maybe they might have omitted actually. Somebody respond to situation. Okay, so we can look into that starting from this one. 인구 절벽. 인구 population 절벽. 절벽이 뭐죠? Cliff. You go into a mountain and there is a cliff, right? But it also means figuratively, it's a bad situation, right? Cliff. Cliff. Population cliff. It's like suicide. Bad situation. Equals what? 경제 절벽. Economy cliff. 이라는, this means called. I use the verb because of 일하다, to be called. But this is adjective describing 말. Okay? So 일하다, this is to be called. Okay? To be called. 이라는 adjective describing 말. 말이 뭐죠? Word or saying. Like the saying called what? Population cliff equals economy cliff. 인구 감소에 population reduction to 미숙하게. This is what? What format is this? It's most likely adverb. When you see 개 at the end as the last syllable, most likely, I'm not gonna say 100%, most likely this is an adverb. 미숙하게, poorly, immaturely. Immaturely. So I think it makes sense. If we, I guess we is missing. If we respond immaturely to population reduction, like saying population cliff equals economy cliff. If we respond immaturely, what happens? 자칫, if you look it up, it comes up as if things go wrong with bad luck. It has a lot more meaning in, you can say more words in English. If things go wrong with bad luck, 자칫. 자칫 also means a bit, but has a negative connotation. 자칫. Bad luck. 사회 경제, society, economy 전반에, 전반, entirety. Two. So fatal aftermath is inevitable to the entire society economy if things go wrong with bad luck. 이해하세요? So we shouldn't respond immaturely because it's gonna impact the society. If we have young kids, much less kids compared to the elderly, what happens? First of all, if we don't have enough people who are born, who's gonna work to grow the economy for the country? I think that's why South Korean people are really focusing on the AI. I think in the future we're gonna have more robots, who knows? And also, it may be a good time for foreigners to move over there. I don't know what the policies are. They still have stricter policies towards immigrants compared to Western world, I guess. But I think if you ever want to move to South Korea, it may be easier than ever before because they need more people. They need more people in South Korea. So I think it's becoming more multicultural society faster. Every time I go back to South Korea, things are definitely different. Okay, so this is the last sentence. 더 내고 덜 받는 여기 있습니다. 여기 있습니다. But you can also study on your own if you want to study more sentences. 더 내고 덜 받는 국민연금 개혁은 2년여 논의를 무시하고 무책임하게 차기 정권으로 떠넘기고 말았다. 더 내고 덜 받는 국민연금 개혁은 2년여 So be weird. 2년여 논의를 무시하고 무책임하게 차기 정권으로 떠넘기고 말았다. 다시 천천히 읽어볼게요. 더 내고 덜 받는 국민연금 개혁은 2년여 논의를 무시하고 무책임하게 차기 정권으로 떠넘기고 말았다. 그러면 동사가 뭡니까? 동사. You see this? 말았다. This is a verb. 말다. But you may see another verb right back to back. This is co-conjunction. 떠넘기다. 떠넘기다. 떠넘기다 and 말았다. 떠넘기다 means push the responsibility to someone else. 떠넘기다. Push the responsibility to someone else and then stop. 말다 means what? Stop. Stop what? Whatever we're talking about. They just stopped it there. They just pushed the responsibility. So 말았다, it means stop, but when it's used with another verb, 고 말았다, it's also a bit awkward in English to include stop. You can just even focus on this one. 떠넘기다. They just push the responsibility. Okay, so do you see any other verb here? Maybe there is another conjunction. 고 is an conjunction. I see 고 here. Do you guys see? And. 무시하다. Is this a verb? 무시하다. 무시하다가 뭐죠? Ignore. 무시하지 마. Don't ignore me. 무시하지 마. It's like don't put me down. 무시하지 마. Okay? So who ignores what? Who ignores what? I see subject here, subject particle. Subject particle. But this could be comparison particle because it's not somebody. Somebody ignored something as for. You can interpret it as for this topic. So that being said, this could be comparison. 무책임하게 차기 정권으로 떠넘기고 말았다. So we don't know what the object is either. We just know this verb implies the object of responsibility. Okay? But wait, but this is an object too. 논의. This is object. Ignore the 2 years of discussion. 2년여. 2 year. 녀 has meaning of like this. Like more than 2 years. 논의, discussion. So let's start with the first one. 더 내고, 덜 받는. This is describing 국민연금 개혁. 더 내다. 더가 뭐죠? More. 내다. This is actually verb. Part of the adjective clause. 내다, pay. And 덜이 뭐예요? The opposite. 덜. Less. 받다. This is adjective, right? 받다 is receive. Okay? So you pay more and you receive less. I guess because government wants people who are in the working force to pay more. But right now, we need to support the elderly right now. So you're gonna get less later. Maybe that's what it means. So that is the 국민연금 개혁. That's right, Francis. 국민, the people, citizen, 연금 pension 개혁 reform. So you can think of it as national pension reform. 연금 is pension. Pension. Reform. Okay? 국민 is citizen. So you can think of it as national pension reform, which is you pay more, and you receive less. So maybe that's why people are ignoring the discussion for about 2 years. Because it's not attractive to anyone. Because they feel like it's not fair. Why do I have to pay more and I know for a fact that I'm going to receive less back, right? So anyway, so they ignore the discussion and 무책임하게. 무책임. 무 has meaning of what? Not. It's negation. Or not exist. This is related to Chinese symbol 무. Okay? 책임, responsibility. 책임하게, responsibility. Responsibly, adverb. Responsibly, but 무책임하게, irresponsibly. In English, you guys use IR. Irresponsibly. 차기 정권. So next administration towards. 넘기고 말았다. So who are doing it? I guess politicians, people. In politics, they push the responsibility towards the next administration irresponsibly. That's what they're talking about. But I don't really follow politics in South Korea, so I don't know who they're talking about, or if it's even true. Maybe they have an ongoing discussion. I don't know. But it seems like they don't really have a solution right now, at this moment. It's just an issue. So 다시 읽어볼게요. 더 내고 덜 받는 국민연금 개혁은 2년여 논의를 무시하고 They ignore the 2 years of discussion. So discussion for about 2 years, I guess. It's not 2 years of discussion. They ignore discussion for 2 years. As for national pension reform, which is you pay more and you receive less. And people push responsibility towards next administration irresponsibly. 어떤 것 같아요? 오늘은 좀 어려웠죠, 사실. I think the sentences were a bit more challenging, maybe geared towards intermediate and advanced, but I think overall topic-wise, it's worthwhile to discuss. And this is what's happening in South Korea. And for those who wanna move over there, they need to understand what's happening. It's good for people to move, but at the same time, there is also unknown situation in the future because people have really low birth rate. So you might have to pay more tax. Who knows? But I think that's why in Korea their tax rate is always going higher and higher and higher to make up for the tax that people didn't pay in the past. Didn't have to pay as much, so now they have to pay more to help the elderly. Yeah. Okay, so this is it, guys. This was the last sentence of the day. Hopefully this video was useful to you. And this one was the first live streaming ever in 2021. Thank you so much for joining and sticking around and continuing to learn Korean with me. And starting from tomorrow, during the week, I post videos on Monday and Thursday, usually at 12 p.m., right, Eastern Time. But I'm gonna start posting at 9 a.m. just to see how it works out, because YouTube gives me analytic reports that a lot of my followers, they tend to watch my videos around this time. So recommended time was 8 a.m. or 9 a.m. But 8 a.m. might be a little too early for people who are in Eastern Time. So I'm gonna start posting videos just for during the week at 9 a.m. But I'm still gonna see you live streaming at 12 p.m. Eastern Time. So hope to see you guys again next Saturday. And I didn't do live streaming yesterday, but usually we have live streaming Saturday and Sunday. But I hope to see you next Saturday and enjoy the rest of the week. 감사합니다.